Hi there, everybody. My name is Andrew Woodward. I'm with Elevated Audio here in Denver, Colorado. I have been here 9 years now. I started the company out of my garage, and now I'm here in a slightly bigger garage. If you're wondering why I'm using the iTest mic, it is because Jeff and Dean made a big deal about good audio quality, so I wanted to make sure that I could deliver on that. And still be able to sit kind of far back from the camera. But let's get started. My biggest challenge this year, as a lot of people know, Elevated Audio went through a major change. At one point earlier this year, 7 employees. My goal was always to kind of grow a company to be scalable. And I hit a wall. I realized that the cost to get there was more than I could afford to do it on a comfortable pace. So I was really pushing everyone pretty hard, and at the end of the day, it made the job not a lot of fun, and that started to spill over into the customer experience. And after a certain point, I had to realize that my dreams of scaling this business was not worth the lower quality of customer satisfaction that we were kind of slipping up on here and there, because everyone's just super stressed. So at the end of the day, cutting it back to me was definitely the hardest decision I had to make this year. But I think at the end of the day, customers are going to be happy. And obviously my team that was here with me have gone on to bigger and better things. So I know that they're happy there as well. So talking about the team, the way that they would have described me, or if you ask them today, it's probably someone who is an unbearable asshole to work for. But I feel like they would also say that I probably push them harder and critique them more than anyone else has ever. And that's my way of pushing and developing people. It might not be super effective, but I noticed a little bit of a change. When most guys started here, they would drive to work, drive home, listening to music. By the time they left, they were listening to podcasts or books on self-development or business or things to move them forward in life. And for that, I'm really happy. So yeah, that also, you've seen a few technicians come from Elevated Audio, make the top 12 installers and top 5 sales pros, and I push them to do that. And I'm always pushing people, and people don't always like that, but I think at the end of the day, they're going to do great where they are, and they're going to keep these assets that they've kind of developed. So that's how they would describe me, I'm sure. My installation specialty is really in integration and DSP tuning. That's what I've developed over the last year working in the back at Elevated Audio. It's getting in there, setting up the 5 mic array, making this tuning cart and everything else, and really learning how to integrate in with these OEM systems like this one and this Tesla behind me. I've read more acoustic textbooks than I'd like to admit, but my philosophy is simple. It's to never take anything for face value. So every job I go into looking for new and improved ways of doing things. I don't ever just do something because it's status quo. And I also believe that you should never think that you're the best at something. That's really my philosophy. Once you think that you're the best, you might as well just quit, because you're telling yourself that there's nothing more to learn. So that's my philosophy when I look at installation and everything that I have to learn now, beyond tuning. So like the laser, the custom fab, things like that, just being open-minded and really learning from the best, kind of humbling yourself. What I want my customers to remember about the installation aspect of my service is that most of what they paid for is never going to be seen. And that's why they chose me. All the wiring and the tuning and everything, that's all behind the scenes kind of things. So that's what I want them to remember. Most of what you paid for won't be seen. So when you're comparing, I have flies in here. Whenever you're comparing or when you're thinking about your installation, just remember, you paid for the things that aren't seen. Industry professionals that really helped me over the years. I would first like to send a shout out to Matthew Davies and Philip Cantu. What you guys did here at the shop really inspired me to step up my game. They know better than anyone else the kind of installer I was. I came from a big box store. That was where I spent most of my career. And when I started Elevated Audio, standards were not the same as they are now. And I would like to thank them for really pushing and continuing to develop the expectations the customers got over the years. I would also like to thank Mark Eldridge. So he put on training in the spring, and I went out to that, and I'd say that's probably the highlight of my year. But everything he knows about audio is like, I'm sure he's forgotten more than I know. It's one of those moments where I was like, oh shit. He is the audio nerd that I aspire to be one day. Then there's people who have indirectly helped me. People such as Peter from PS Sound on YouTube, and then Nick Apicella. You guys put out a lot of info on tuning, especially Helix processors, which is my brand here. And yeah, so I'd say that is awesome. So thank you. On the custom fab, since I'm having to refresh myself on all the new techniques, Mark from Car Audio Fab and Brian with Mobile Solutions, your content is amazing. So I'd like to say thanks. I would also, let's see here. What else? Who else do I have? So Brian Mitchell, he's also someone I met for the first time this year. Awesome guy. So cool. I wanted to bring in Arc Audio after talking to him. So, these flies. But yeah, his car also sounded kind of good. So that, yeah. But why should I be part of the top 50 installers of 2022? I would say that it's because the person you see in front of you here cares so much about the image of this industry. I care a lot about the professionalism, the quality of work, and the sustainability. So I just want the people who are trusting us with their vehicles to think about us again the next time they buy a new vehicle that might have more technology in it. We're always, I feel like, playing catch up with OEM in terms of, or it might be the other way around. They're playing catch up with us, but they always catch up, and then we have to reinvent ourselves. So having a loyal customer base is super important, and that's what I am hoping to obtain by doing the level of work that I do. So let me show you around the shop real quick. I can't flip this camera around and see what's going on, so I'm just going to walk like this. And first start off in the wood shop. You can see a lot of the standard wood shop tools: metal brake, drill press, 2 routers, a few more routers under the table as well. But a lot of your standard things: table saw, panel saw, materials here, aluminum, expanded PVC, MDF. Phil built out this great rack here, but this is the newest addition to the shop. I know it's consumer grade for a lot of you guys, but I'm excited to learn on the Glowforge, on laser cutting. I have my Procreate as well. I don't expect to be a Tom Miller one day, but mainly because my sketching is just terrible. I am learning, and I'd like to say thanks for putting out that content, Tom, and kind of inspiring a lot of us to be able to visualize our work before it goes out. Wire rack, vehicle storage, my tuning cart, which I spent a lot of time this year working on and developing. I would say it's more than tuning, it's more of a integration, testing, and then tuning. Mobile tool cart, super important to keep efficiency up. I would say this is probably my favorite tool in the cart, because I'd say tracking my time is very important to me. Also, a soldering station. Let's see here. What else we got? We got parts bin. So a lot of stainless threaded hardware. That's really all I've been trying to use. That's really all we have here, thanks to Matt and Phil. So yeah, I'd say organization's really important to me, but these are the major portions of my tool set that I use each and every day. I'm a little over 10 minutes, so I'd like to say thank you, and I appreciate the consideration to be one of the top 50. And yeah, everyone have a great day. Thanks.